Let me borrow from your mind as an economist a bit. I want to understand and just pick up from what Mheshimiwa said. What's the difference now, this Hustler Fund with the other funds that we already have? I'm looking at funds such as the Youth Fund, the Women Fund, the Uwezo Fund. I mean, what is it about the Hustler Fund that makes it stand out, that makes it something that will fix or address a gap that is existing in society, if in any case there is any?
I think there is a difference. First, I want to agree with my colleague Bill Kero that, as like many things, the test is in the detail, is in the pudding, is the eating, and so on. Having said that, I think it's a great idea to go the direction that the president, the current administration, is intending to do. But to answer your question first. The major difference is that these other funds are highly regulated, very institutionalized. The requirements are tough to meet by ordinary, let's say, younger generation in the community. The Women Fund, for example, the Youth Fund, Uwezo Fund was a little lighter in its requirements, but it completely lacked an administrative structure to be able to collect the money back. This Hustler Fund, the way I understand it, is that it's going to go in a notch lower than that. It's not going to go in anywhere near title deeds or formal incorporation or anything of that kind. You're going to be able to deal, let's pick it up as I understand it. You're going to be able to deal with the limited bureaucracy, and to be a very light bureaucracy, we are assured, directly with you, almost the level you deal with FLISA, perhaps only slightly more structured. If you had told people about a FLISA type program a few years ago, they would think, no, that's not going to happen. And here we are now, transacting at a level close to a couple of billion a day, with people that we don't even know exactly where they live, but they are connected by technology and so on. And if you looked at something earlier in our history, when they said we would have, President Kibaki, when he had said before he became president, we can have free primary education, people laughed at it and said, no, that's not going to happen. He came in and started doing. My point here is that I think the strategic objective is great. We are dealing with the bottom of the pyramid, which in our case, sadly, is probably, very generous, if you leave out the youth, is probably going to be something like 50% of the population.
Okay.
I'm not so good at numbers. I leave that to Bill Carrot on that. And which has not been targeted specifically. But it's all experimentation. It's experimentation on a grand scale, so to say. Its success is going to depend on what flexibility is built around it as we go in, what learning comes out of it, what modifications can be made. And lastly, something like 500 shillings a day, I had an MP deride it, and I just said, I don't think she lives in this country.
Right. 5
shillings a day is quite a bit for Mamboga on the market. I have dealt with market women, they're mostly women, who say, they say, well, I had an illness and I have lost all my capital. How much was your capital? And they say I needed about 300 shillings a day. If I have seen in West Africa, where many years ago they had systems like this, a bit more advanced at that time than us, in which there was daily borrowing in the marketplace, through partly institutionalized, partly self-organized arrangements in the big markets in Accra, in which the daily borrowing is less than even this 500 shillings we are dealing with. You take it in the morning, you pay it in the evening. So we should not, I think that before we pour cold water on this, let's see how they implement. If we get big bureaucrats out there, who are looking for the big cars and the sitting allowances and so on, they will take their eye off this.
Okay, thank you.